Everyone has a story to tell. It's my mission to tell it. Unscripted, unedited, we are on the record.
Hi everyone, I'm Serena Vizan, a journalist, producer, and the host of On the Record. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining me. And joining us today, I love it, a father's influence. We have Luis Rivera here with his beautiful 11-year-old Valentina, but you call her 11.
Yeah, she's 11. Yeah, she's 11.
And listen, girl, oh my gosh, I love your sense of style with this jean jacket you got going on. You're adorable.
Thank you.
What grade are you in?
I'm in 5th.
In 5th grade. So we're going to learn so much about you and all the amazing things that you're doing with art and food, which is fabulous with your dad. But A Father's Influence is a show that I love doing because we talk about a father and how a father can really, set the way and set the future for their children. I know my dad certainly did. So Luis, tell us a little bit about you and, talk about Matthew, who's not here today.
Yeah, so definitely, thanks for having us on the show. We're really excited. So for me, I have 2 beautiful children. One of them sitting right next to me here, Valentina. And then we have Matthew, who unfortunately couldn't make it today. I call him CEO Matt.
CEO Matt.
CEO Matt. He's doing his thing. Extremely proud of him. He's a senior at Stetson University, and actually right now I think he's in one of the meetings on campus, helping them out with a few things. So for me, so that's my family. And my immediate family, and
he has a gorgeous, beautiful wife too. By the way, just want to mention that because we can't throw her under the bus, right?
Yeah. So we. So what happens is that been living in Tampa. Well, originally from New York City, from the Bronx. Go Yankees! I know that's going to make a lot of Tampa Bay Rays fans very happy. But been living in the state for 23 years, and moved down here. Originally lived in South Florida, then kind of worked my way up here. But I love Tampa Bay. I mean, I've been back in Tampa now almost 2 years, and I'm sorry to hear that that Brady had to go.
I know.
But you know what? You got Luis with an O now. So Tampa, you're good.
There we go. In Valley, we have so much to talk to you about too. But I want to talk about Matthew for a few minutes first, because what is so interesting is you were actually working on Wall Street, and
finance district, yes.
Yes, and Matthew is autistic.
Exactly.
And I mean, doing very, very, very well. But you made a lot of sacrifices in your life to help your son and enable him to get to the point where he's at. And I do want the audience to know Matthew was going to join us today, but of course, I mean, he's a great student.
Yes.
And,
graduation's right around the corner.
So that took precedence, which of course we absolutely understand and we endorse. But if you don't mind talking about that a little bit.
Sure, definitely. So after I got married in 1998, moved down to South Florida, and we kind of just planted our roots. Florida, it is New York. We love you, but we'll be back someday. And then in 2000, God blessed us with a beautiful baby boy. He's 21. I can't imagine how I can't even think about how quick time has gone. And and everything was kind of going well. And right when he was about 2, maybe almost 3, we started noticing some different behaviors. And and my wife and I, our backgrounds is both in finance, so it's very high stress, just fast paced kind of industry. So we actually, we noticed a few things with him, and just kind of took him to get some evaluations and to get evaluated, I should say. And that's where we had to wait for the official diagnosis of autism until he was 5.
Wow.
Because back then, there wasn't as much, awareness and research as there is today. So with that, we actually, we started our journey learning about autism, right? Because we just took a step back, and we're a God-fearing family, and we just relied on our faith, and we said, God, you blessed us with this beautiful child. You gave us the, the opportunity to raise him. and look out for him, right, and do the best that we can, and that's what we did. And so my wife and I just started doing our research, finding out where the best resources were, in which county. I mean, we looked statewide, and that's where we decided to leave South Florida and move to East Central Florida, in a little town called Deltona, not too far from DeLand, where Matthew goes to school at Stetson.
So before we continue on that, Valley, as you sit here and you listen to your father and talking about your older brother and everything that he did to make sure that your brother is successful, I mean, honestly, changing your career path for your child, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
How is that making you feel?
It's making me feel like he's a really good dad, and he will always look out for me, and he'll always be there for me.
I know, and
Don't make me cry on the show, though.
I know, and you know what? And you know, honestly, seriously.
Yeah.
I know she's 11, but Valley's probably like, ooh, that's really kind of a heavy question for a child that's in the 5th grade. Come on. We'll get to fun, light questions too. Don't worry. You don't worry about that. So, but you know, so Louis, just talk about that though. Again, like I know we would do anything for our children. But you were willing to make the sacrifice of leaving Wall Street, right?
Yeah, for sure. So so what happens is that once I actually moved here, I started working for a local bank, right? And then from there, and you know, my wife was on the investment side, and we actually both just came to a decision where one of us she actually completely just stepped away from her career, and believe it or not, became a paraprofessional at one of Matthew's schools.
Wow.
So that she can actually, you know, see and be there, you know, at least part-time, so that we can navigate and see, you know, form a plan, you know, on how we're going to help him. And I have to say that it really takes a village. Like, we're blessed because not only our immediate family support, but our church family, and then also like the school system. And I think what a lot of people need to realize is that what happens at home needs to happen at school, because you work so hard to get to a certain point, and then if you take your foot off the gas, you know, it can mean 6 months to a year worth of work just in a couple weeks gone.
Absolutely.
So the thing with Matt, and he'll tell you, and I think that's why part of his work ethic is so amazing, is because even over the summertime, he was always active and working and doing something with school, because it was all about structure. Yeah, it was all about structure. So, so it was a big sacrifice, but we actually got a lot of support.
So the larger picture with, you know, with autism and kids that are autistic, really, I mean, again, the sacrifices you made are huge, but the lesson here is that there needs to be more resources, correct?
Correct, yes. And then, and the thing is too, that I think a lot of parents, they feel like once there's a diagnosis, like it's something, it's not bad news. There's nothing negative about it. I think people hear that the child is diagnosed with autism, and it's like, oh man, this is why me and all this stuff. It's like, no, now it's just a matter of you shifting your focus and your energy and just, you know, raising your child. And but you're absolutely right, and that's where we kind of inserted ourselves into in working with the public school system, because believe it or not, they have the funding and they have the resources that to best help your child. Because at the end of the day, therapy alone, it's like a mortgage. So if you wanted to do like speech therapy, we're talking about $30 to like $75 an hour, depending on where you're at. So Matthew was getting therapy in a group setting, which wasn't really getting much, you know, for a few 10, 15 minutes. So we worked with the school system. We put together an IEP, you know, a plan just to kind of track his progression. And as he did better, some things went away, and some areas where he needed more help, then we went ahead and just added.
That's wonderful. And I think a lot of families, and I love what you said when you said so many parents say why, and don't see it as a negative, see it as a positive. But you also said let's shift focus. So Valley, you know what we're gonna do right now?
What?
We're shifting focus to you, girl. Yay!
Finally!
Finally! Yes! Okay, do that again. Finally!
Finally!
So then 10 years later, you have Matthew. You do all these wonderful, amazing things for Matthew. And then I am sorry, I always say there is something about a father and a daughter. Would you agree? There's like a bond.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about it. Tell us, why do you think your dad is a superhero?
Because he's always going to be there for me, and he, no matter what, he's going to do something to help me, and he's always going to make me happy, and yeah.
Yeah, and so, okay, so speaking of making you happy, so you love cooking.
Yes.
And you also love the arts.
Yes.
Right? So you brought in you've gone to her, so you did all this for Matthew, and so now you have little Valley here, and how are you helping her flourish?
So with Valley, you know, to me, I always think about identifying their strengths, right? And then just encourage that. Because once they have their own individuality, it's just like as a parent, you just gotta, water that seed. So, but before I get into that, Valley. So a little history. I have 5 brothers. Right?
5 brothers.
So my mom has 6 boys, and she still walks around with a smile on her face every day. So what happens
boys love their moms
so
too,
it's like all boys, and then I had a couple. My brothers had boys, and we had my niece, and then Matthew. So it took a while before we got another girl in our family. So when Valley arrived, even now we still don't know what to do. She walks in the room, we're like, okay, what do you need? What do you want? So the way I encourage and help Valley is just spending quality time with her. Right, and even going back to working with her teachers and trying to help any which way that I can, because in my career I'm out in the community, career services, workforce development, so I always try to bring them the resources. But one way that I was able to help was with the Great American Teach-In. It's kind of like Career Day.
Absolutely, I've participated in so many times. It's
so I don't know why they changed the name. Let's just call it Career Day. So I did. I went in there. It was right around Thanksgiving. So I said, hey, since we like to cook, and we like to bake, I got approval from the school to come in and do something simple, where we took little pudding cups and turned them into turkeys.
So sweet.
And then and now the best part about that, not only going in there and embarrassing Valley with my dad jokes and her Harry Potter infatuation, but I was surprised. I received over 30 handwritten thank you cards from the kids.
Here, let me see these just for a minute, because I just want to, if we could take a close-up shot. I mean, I know, and please don't look at my nails, because I broke all my nails. It's been a very stressful week, but that must have meant the world.
Yeah.
Okay, but you took your card out of here, I heard.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I don't want it on TV.
Oh, she doesn't want it on TV. She just wanted to get tears. But see, which is so wonderful, you helped with that. But where did this passion with cooking come from?
For me, the way I started cooking and baking was when, right at the time where everything just happened with the diagnosis and the career change. It's just a huge life event. I needed something to just kind of, take a step back, kind of refresh, re-energize, and then to take on the next day. So I would, in the middle of the night, put on my salsa music, and just I started with cupcakes and then muffins, and then it evolved from there. And Matt loved it, because he'll wake up in the morning and he'll have things some of the things went right in the trash, but whatever. No one ever got food poisoning, so we're good. And then so I just continued that and spending quality time with her and with Matt in the kitchen, just having them help me just make these creations.
Sweet recipe for success, and we have such a treat for you guys. And we've been showing pictures of Matthew and the family, and so many great pictures. Okay, we're gonna take a break.
Okay.
And Valley, I heard that you are going to actually show us something in a kitchen we created basically for you.
Yes.
Okay, so we can do that. All right. So stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back. I'm Serena Fazan, a journalist, producer, and podcast host. With a background in television news, I know how much time and talent it takes to produce a broadcast quality production. But no more. Red House Streaming offers a simple, cost-effective method for capturing live action and streaming it in real time to YouTube, Facebook, or any other website. From single camera shoots or multi-camera productions, conventional or virtual sets, and from the state-of-the-art Red House Streaming Studios to remote locations, the professional crew at Red House Streaming, backed by the technology and reputation of CP Communications, allows you to produce more content at a lower cost and with little to no engineering required. That's why my podcast, On the Record with Serena Fazan, is streamed live from the Red House Streaming Studios each week. Contact Red House Streaming today at 800-762-4254 or online at cpcoms.com to learn more. I'll see you in the studio.
You use maps for travel, but did you know there's mapping for your skin? It's called Visious Skin Analysis.
Above average, that's pretty good.
Here's why I used it at South Tampa Dermatology. It scans your skin for sun damage and wrinkles. You can see how your skin compares with others in your age group. Why is this important?
So here's what we'll do.
It can target a treatment program to meet your needs and save your skin over time. Another reason why I rely on the dream team at South Tampa Dermatology.
Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Record, Father's Influence. We have Luis Rivera here with his beautiful daughter, Valley, who's 11-teen.
11-teen.
I love that. Yeah, 11-teen. So for the first time, we are actually basically creating like a kitchen for you guys. Because, I mean, how cool, because you have to tell us what we have here. And you guys made this yourself.
Yeah, we did.
Yes.
Okay.
We did all of it.
You did all of it. Okay. Okay, so Valley, you start.
So
Tell us what it is.
First, we have the brownies. We have regular and walnut, and then we have.
So delicious.
Then we have the maple bacon mini donuts. These were really easy to make, and they were so much fun.
Oh my gosh, these do not look easy to make. I want to say that.
Yeah.
And these are the bird nest cookies. Me and my dad made them, and we're going to show you how to make some right now.
I know, we're so excited. And so we're going to go over here and we're going to learn how to make them. But before we start, just really quickly, Luis, this is not just like a bonding thing for the two of you. You guys really want to help other people with baking.
Yes, exactly. So the ultimate goal is to start a nonprofit where we can partner up with our community partners and get donations for supplies so that we can make cakes for other nonprofit organizations, for any like at-risk youth or those that are less fortunate, because you'll be surprised how many people have never had a homemade birthday cake.
Can you believe that?
So,
oh my gosh.
so that's our ultimate goal.
So you know what? I want to do a call out to the audience. If anybody is watching and really wants to help them, please reach out to us and let's get something going. All right. And speaking of something going, we did, we already melted this.
Yes.
But what is this? This is chocolate chip.
So this is milk chocolate chips with butterscotch chips. And you put it in the microwave for 30 seconds, you stir it up, and then you put it back in the microwave for 30 seconds again.
Now, is it really important just to melt it for that long? Because you don't want it to get too sticky, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Sometimes if you overheat the chocolate, it starts to dry out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so.
Okay, and then, okay, who would have thought? All right, tell us about this, Valley.
So, so we put these chow mein noodles in.
Yeah.
And like, I know chocolate and noodles doesn't sound that good, but it's delicious.
I know, it's like, who would have thought? All right, so then what do you do next?
So you dump them in.
Then you can just go ahead and just dump them right in there.
All of them?
Yeah, all of them. There you go.
Okay, so if you use a whole can,
Yeah.
how many chocolate chips and butterscotch chips should you use?
Yeah, so the recipe is that it's really simple. So you'll get a bag of milk chocolate chips, usually 12 ounces. Then you get a bag of the butterscotch chips, which is 11 ounces. I don't know why.
Isn't that so funny? Like, okay, so one is 12 and one's, okay.
And then you get about a 12-ounce bag of the chow mein noodles. So everything is 12, 12, 12.
Okay,
And
very simple.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, and we just have to coat those up really nice.
Can you help me?
You know,
Yeah. Did
So
you
once we
hear
do
that? That was so cute.
So what would happen is that you go ahead and you mix these up, mix them up really nice. I mean, normally you would want like a bigger bowl.
This is really simple,
And then,
though.
yes, and then once you mix these and you get a good coating, and just for time's sake, I'm gonna grab a little piece right here that kind of has the chocolate already on it. We'll just set this right on there, and then Valentina will go ahead. You kind of turn it into a little nest.
Like a
Here
little.
comes the name Bird's Nest cookie, right?
Yeah. So
And
then you can take like chocolate eggs or like gum eggs because we're using the gum ones. So you just stick 3 of the eggs
Exactly. So,
inside of the nest.
so Valley, what did one egg say to the other egg? Let's get it cracking.
Let's get it cracking.
Yes, I'm that dad. Yes, I'm here all week and twice on Saturdays.
Oh, I love it, but look how cute this is. And I want to show this presentation again because take a look. This is cotton candy.
Yes, yeah, that's cotton candy. So you figure just something easy that you can make with pretty much any age group. If you have a microwave at home, put these together, and once you put them in the fridge, in about 5 to 7 minutes, they'll set, and then you can just enjoy them.
Okay, so you do put them in the fridge
Yes,
then
yeah,
for 5
exactly.
to 7 seconds?
Yeah, so you would normally-
Or 5 to 7.
Yeah, 5 to 7 minutes. So normally you'll put these on a cookie sheet with some parchment paper so they don't stick, and then you'll put them in the refrigerator. And then once they set, you can display them, and they'll stay out and they'll stay firm for quite some time.
Well, you know what's so interesting too is that honestly, I love to cook, but I cannot bake. I love to cook, but when you walk in holding something like this, I think you feel pretty cool, right? Like, look at all the work that I did to put into this.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! But how could you guys say that this is? I know we don't have the time to create these, but how could these be easy?
Trial and error. We've been baking for a long time, and it's like a perfect science. It's all about timing, and to be honest, it's going to sound as cheesy as it's going to sound, but it's all about your mood. So it depends on what mood you're in, and you really have to kind of dive in, and then you get the final product.
So I love what you guys are doing too with the in hopes of working on the nonprofit.
Yes.
But talk to me about, a lot of times you think about baking, you think about doing that with your mom, right? What type of bonding experience is this for the two of you?
We have a lot of fun. So Valley knows. So the cool thing about it, it creates memories, right? Whether we're making something like this or we're hosting Thanksgiving with 20 people at the house. The cool thing about it is that I always have music playing in the background, right? So she knows that if she's gonna walk through the kitchen, we have to dance. So sometimes she's not in the mood to dance, so she walks all the way around to grab her snacks to go in the pantry. So yeah, so it's all about creating memories, and we have fun. And things don't always have to come out perfect, and when they don't, we just dispose of it and we take it as a learning experience.
Well, that's what I mean. It's such what a beautiful message through a father's influence. One of my favorite shows was Grey's Anatomy, and I know I think they've renewed, but they would always say, "Dance it out."
Yeah.
So I do the same thing in my kitchen. I'm like, we are dancing it out. And look at these wonderful memories.
Yeah.
We're showing pictures. We're showing pictures. We had just shown some pictures, so I wanted to point out to the pictures of there she is.
We're making the sweet potato pizzas there. Sweet potato crust pizza.
Sweet potato?
Yeah, kid approved.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding. Oh my gosh, can I come to your house maybe? Can I hang out there? Can I hang out there?
Family fun and food. That's
Family fun and food. Family fun and food. Oh my gosh. We so have enjoyed having you guys on the show.
Yeah.
And I also know, I shouldn't blow any type of surprises, but
yeah, Valerie, don't you have something for Miss Serena before we go?
Oh yeah. Here you go.
Thank you for having us.
Oh
It's a great opportunity.
absolutely. Well, this is the sweetest thing. I was worried we were running out of time, but our senior producer Beth Weber said that we actually have a few more minutes to talk, right,
Okay,
Beth?
awesome.
Did you say I have a few more minutes?
Yes, thank you.
These are so beautiful, and how considerate for you guys to bring these in. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we'll show off the flowers here. I'm going to put them over here.
Sure.
So, okay, speaking then, since we do have a few more minutes, we're talking these brownies we'll talk about in a minute, but let's go back to the donut. So these are, how did you make these donuts?
So those are actually those are baked. So we have a small pan with like the little mini donut molds, and so once we make the batter, so the batter is close to like a yellow cake batter, and then the icing,
like a cake batter, like you can buy like Pillsbury or whatever brand. Okay,
yeah,
all
so
right,
you
a
can
cake
just
batter.
pick one box, make the batter,
Okay.
and then once you make the cookies, the actual mini donuts, these take about like 8 minutes in the oven at 350 degrees. Then the glaze is nothing but just powdered sugar, maple syrup, and maybe a little bit of half and half. If you don't have half and half, you can use milk.
Wow.
You know, just kind of make the glaze, and then you just have the best part. You can sprinkle the bacon on top, and it's almost like a mini pancake with bacon on top.
I know, and what is it about, like what we talked about, the bird's nest cookies too, about the sweet and the salty, right? There's something about that. So with the bacon, and you would recommend then making the bacon in the frying pan, right? You know how some people microwave it, or do you think, can you microwave the bacon?
You know what
Does it
I do?
matter?
I actually use an air fryer.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I actually use an air fryer. You put a little bit of water in the pan so it doesn't get too smoky, and you just lay down the bacon strips, and it comes out perfect.
Okay, that's
you just
awesome.
crumble it up, and you feel.
And and then of course, how could you not love brownies, right? So with these brownies, are they're not out of just a box though, right?
No. So just a lot of chocolate, and then again, you just try to switch it up. I know a lot of people, they may be allergic to nuts, so just try to be considerate as we're giving things away that have any food allergies and things like that. So these are just chewy fudge, and then the other ones are walnuts. The recipe's pretty much exactly the same except for the topping.
And I want to say, like, of course, the time that you spend with your child, son, daughter, is priceless.
Yes.
Priceless. But these are really, if you think about it, right, inexpensive items to make that if your family is on a budget and, it's such quality time, like, how much would you say something like this costs?
So for example, like right now to make bird's nest, the recipe, we're looking at under $5.
So under $5.
So under $5 because you can actually get the candy from the Dollar Tree or the $1.25 tree now.
I know. It's so funny. It's like, okay, we get to change the whole name.
Yeah, and then the chocolate chips are a couple bucks each, and then the chow mein. So between $5 to like $6 you can make, and these are fairly large, so you can make them a little bit smaller and just make a bunch of them. We actually made it during the lockdown, like I was sharing with you earlier, and we ended up making like 40. And we're like, what are we going to do with all these? Like the world is shut down. We can't share them with anybody. So we ate most of them, and then the rest of them went to the landfill.
So this, as you said, about $5.
Yeah.
How about the brownies?
Yeah, same here. So if you just buy the box, right, and then what you would need, the box is between $1 and $1.35. Then you just need some water, some oil, and a couple eggs. So we're talking about less than like $3.
Right, to make that.
To make that, and then so this is about half of what you would make. So just picture double this. So let's say $5, you can get your brownie on for sure.
Wow! And then how about the donuts?
Yeah, the donuts, same thing. You get a cake box, about $1.50, and then bacon. You get a pack of bacon. You get a small pack, depending on $3 to $5. But you don't have to put the bacon. Put whatever else you want, and then the glaze and the sugar, very inexpensive. So again, everything in this table can range between $5 to like $8.
See, and so again, I just want to point that out. And again, right, Valley? I know we're sitting here talking about prices and money and all this other stuff, and I said that quality time with your dad is priceless.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Can you tell at 11 years old? Do you think you're going to remember this like for the rest of your life?
Yes, I am, because it's so special.
It is so special. And I do want to point out, so Louis and I first met, we met through CareerSource.
Yes.
CareerSource is such a great resource, and we are in the state of Florida. We are in the Tampa Bay area, and where the CP Communications and Red House Streaming is in St. Petersburg. I know you work out of the Tampa Bay office.
Correct.
But for people who watch even throughout the country, I would highly recommend going through CareerSource.
Exactly.
We did a whole show on it to get help. And since we have a couple of extra minutes on the show, we interviewed your CEO over there, and if you'd like to say a bit more about CareerSource.
Yeah, definitely. So for us, being in Tampa and we serve our local businesses in Hillsborough County, you have various programs that can help small businesses all the way up to corporations, just not only assisting them with recruiting the right staff, but also retaining the staff, and especially now, as you know, everyone is hiring, and there's not enough job seekers, so retention is also important as well.
Absolutely. So I would encourage people, we did a whole show on it, to watch the show. It's, it's on all my channels now, which is super exciting. So Valentina, before we wrap up the show, again, Valley, was this your idea on the flowers? Yeah. You always take credit.
I give her all the credit. That's okay. That's okay. She represents me, so she gets all the credit.
Is there anything that you would like to say, honey, to people out there?
No.
There's nothing you would like to say, which is fine.
This food is amazing.
The food is amazing.
Yes.
How important is the father's influence?
It's very important, and for me, I put a lot of time into spending time, because going somewhere or just buying something, it's very easy to do, but when you're carving out the time to do things like this and create memories, that's where everyone should be putting their efforts.
We so appreciate you guys coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Oh, absolutely. And now they're going to have a little father-daughter date.
Yes.
And they're going to a restaurant. And so Lewis just said to me, he's like, oh my gosh, the woman who owns the restaurant has an amazing story that I am going to ask her, maybe she might be interested in the show. I'm sharing that because we would like to ask the viewers too, if you have an idea for a show, listen, send us a message, send us an email. It's very easy to find. I was, again, at Career Source, just started up a conversation, learned about all of your guys' effort. So, and here you guys are.
And here we are,
on A Father's Influence. So there you go.
Good times, fun stuff. Thanks again.
Absolutely. And I'm on multiple social media platforms too, so we would encourage people to, share the show. Here they are. Lewis, Valley. Hey, Valley, are you on any of these yet? I know you're 11-teen. Are you on any of these yet?
No.
Okay, bummer.
Yeah, we're waiting a little bit.
Well, okay, I should say bummer. Okay, you know why? Because once she starts, can she maybe help build my following?
Oh yeah, sure,
okay,
definitely. We'll do that. We'll share it. We'll go ahead. We'll tag you into stuff.
Well, there we go. We so appreciate it. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. The crew wants me to wrap up too because they really want to try all these baked goodies.
Awesome.
And I have to enjoy my flowers.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, everybody. Stay safe. Bye.